Hi there, my name's Tom and welcome to Tarndwarncoort. And if you can't get all Tarndwarncoort out, you can just go with Tarndy, and that's kind of where you find us online as well, tarndy.com. So what we're doing today is talking to anyone and everyone who's out there in the woolcraft world as part of the big wool show weekend, where a lot of people are spending time online, and we thought that was a good time to talk to you about what we do here at Tarndwarncoort. So thank you for tuning in. It's really nice that you can share a bit of time with us. This little section of the day, we wanted to talk about what it is that we do here what are we doing? Basically, what do we do at Tarndwarncoort? Because the end result is yarn, but how do you get there is kind of the story. And we're quite keen to share with everybody what we do in our processing to kind of make it as transparent as possible, because I feel like that's the right way to go these days, isn't it? To kind of make information available, and so people can make their own decisions about what's good and what fits with their own ideas on yarn. So transparency is the key here. So we want to tell you what we do. Firstly, we raise sheep. These are Polworth sheep, and they've been bred specifically to this environment where it's a little wetter in the northern parts of the Otways, and we need a robust sheep that can stand up to the weather. So their fleece is around about 22 to 24 micron, nice and long, and that length makes it good for spinning. On the farm here, between my brother Al and this one here, there's about 1,000 Polworth sheep. Once a year, those sheep are shorn by Gary and his family and anyone else he ropes into his contracting team at that time. So we shear in February so that we've got the best amount of wool available on the sheep. That wool's usually around about 100 mil long, like this, in natural colours and white, and it's full of grease and lanolin vegetable matter. And that's okay if you're hand spinning at home, because you can prepare the fleece as you go. But if we wanted to do lots of yarn in a mill, we need to wash it first, and that process is called scouring. Scoured wool doesn't have the lanolin or the vegetable matter. You can still tell that it's wool. It's still got that crimp and that staple kind of quality about it, but it's all jumbled up. So it needs to be carded and combed and gilled so that can then be spun. That process is called top making, and we have that process done in Bacchus Marsh at Cashmere Connections, and that process lines up all the fibres so they're parallel. It takes out any short fibres. Short fibres are what kind of creates a bit of an uneven spin and leads to pilling, adds to pilling. So until this point, all of these processes are done in Victoria, where we are here in Australia, and so the wool's only travelled 300 kilometres in a round trip to get to that point. But we want it spun into yarn, so what we do is after the scouring process in Geelong, we send our wool to Napier in New Zealand, and that's where we get spinning and dyeing done for the bulk of our yarns. A lot of people are kind of surprised when we tell them that we send our wool to New Zealand, and they think that that's you know, an unfortunate thing, that why can't we do it in Australia? And the way that we respond to that is that we'd love to get it done in Australia. However, we don't have access to processes in the kind of quantity that we need to do in the time that we need to do it in. So there's one or two kind of commercial commission spinners, but they're really busy with their own stuff at the moment. and they're just not able to pick up small lots like ours. At the other end is the mini mills that can produce a small amount of yarn, but unfortunately the sort of volume that we want to do sits in between the mini mills and the large commercial operators. So we've just had to find the right manufacturer that fits our kind of size and hopes and dreams. So by sending it to New Zealand, we add quite a lot of time and complexity to our spin, but we really appreciate their skills and experience. The mill over there was set up by Parendale sheep breeders a while ago, 30 years ago, and so we know that it's set up by people that grow wool, and they've got an understanding of what it takes to add value and processing to that core product to make it something that people want to use. So the people at Design Spun are really good operators. What they then do is spin it up and dye it, but we have been able to do a little bit of yarn here in Australia, which is naturally coloured and spun in Ballarat. So it means that this 5-ply yarn is entirely processed in Victoria, in Australia, and we hope that that sort of is something that gives it a unique character. So the natural dark chocolate colour is kind of unusual. It's a 5-ply, 3 strands, so it's nicely balanced, but it's kind of got a good amount of twist in it to give it a finished garment, a good bit of structure and definition about the stitches. So there we go. We've gone from sheep through to yarn, and from this point on it's up to wool crafters to turn it into whatever garments they think fits the wool. We think it's good for jumpers, beanies, scarves, next to skin products. It's got that softness but durability about it. We hope you enjoy it too, and please get in touch if you want to know a little bit more about the way we have our wool processed into yarn. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.